So on today's episode, we have our very special guest and our first guest. Some of you may know him as AT Keto on Instagram, and some of you may personally know him as Ashley. We'll be talking all things keto, obviously. Keto and fitness, keto and carb cycling, and most importantly, the ebook.
Yeah, that's why I want to go back. I just feel sort of it's just clear and sort of the clarity behind being like keto and stuff. Like I'm surprised that my carb refeeds haven't sort of gone into sort of, I don't get bloated or anything like that, which I thought I would, but I haven't. But I just, the keto lifestyle just sort of fits me, and I like keto foods, and you know, I've gone, you know, X amount of time without bread and pasta and stuff, and I don't mind going, you know, long period of times, because, you know, you sort of, what's the saying, you eat to live, you don't live to eat, kind of thing. So if I'm gonna, you know, have my sort of avocados, my bacon, chicken and stuff like that, I'm happy with that. Like the carb, this is just sort of my carb, like it's just an experiment. Like Lauren sent me a video and I wanted to try it, and I tried it. I'll go back to keto. It's just, you just experiment with things, just see what works for you and what doesn't.
But I think it's also good in a sense of, a lot of people are scared to just eat carbs, or like a lot of people see that I'm kind of like maintaining and introducing carbs, and then they'll ask me like how I basically got out of that little like carb rut and that hole, and they're scared to eat them again, and they're just like, what did you do to like get out of that rut? And I was like, I just like basically picked it up and ate it. Like I was scared initially, but you've just got to basically go for it. And I think what you did, I don't know if you was in that rut of like, oh my god, like scared of carbs, but I think it can be quite good for people to like ease it in slowly, because then they won't be scared of them. But then you get the people that want them all the time, and you know they're not scared of them, but then on the other hand, people are absolutely petrified to even just like eat a bit of fruit.
It all begins with a mindset,
or just eat like a brioche bun.
It all begins with a mindset, and
it can be good, don't get me wrong, it can be good to be in that mindset, but then I think it's quite obsessive. It's like when people obsess over the 20
100%.
grams, or they obsess over their calories, or they go over 10 carbs, and it's like, oh my God, I've eaten 30, I've got to eat 10 tomorrow. Like it does become quite compulsive in their head. And I think that can be quite unhealthy in a way. So doing it on the weekends can kind of ease someone back into, oh, actually carbs aren't that bad, but then you've just got to eat the right ones. If you eat a pizza, you are going to balloon. If you eat some sweet potato fries or some corn, you'll be fine. If you eat some quinoa, you'll be fine. It's just choosing the right ones.
There's carbs like in everything. I mean, and it's like, I've got to the stage now where I feel like I'm not tracking so much, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm still getting the same results, and I'm having more of things. A while ago, I think I actually told you this, Lauren, a couple of months ago, I was weighing everything, and I was like, weighing my pepper, and you were like, stop weighing your pepper. Like, it's just pepper.
Yeah, and I became so addicted to that. I was even weighing lettuce, and then I looked at myself and I went, this is pathetic. I was literally fucking weighing a leaf. It's pathetic.
Meats,
but we've
I
all
weigh
done
meats
it.
and cheese and stuff, but I don't. Veg.
Yeah, meats and fats. I
never
all
weigh
veg.
Now. Veg is veg. Like, you know, I might need to weigh my peas though. So I'm getting hate on my peas, my watery peas. But yeah. For those the people listen to the podcast, but yeah, basically I have an Instagram post of cotton peas, and I used
swimming peas,
and I used all my carbs for the day on my peas. But someone pointed it out. I think it was Sally or Zoe or both, that my peas were quite watery, and I think it was water and butter, but yeah. No, I'm not having peas.
I've got paper towel.
Yeah, but it's mainly butter. Like, I don't know. Yeah, they did. Like, when I looked back at it, I was like, wow, they do actually look like they're swimming in water. But
I just thought it was butter. Like, that's what I do. Like, I will drown them in butter.
It didn't look like butter though, so that's when I thought Zoe might be onto something here. That actually might have just been water with a little bit, but it is what it is. It tastes good. I liked it, so who cares? But talking about Instagram, and we're talking about loads of like things. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, I started my Instagram technically back in July, but it was private. I didn't follow anyone. I just kept on putting the odd photo here to just keep me accountable. And February of this year, I turned it off private. I went fully public, and like now, look, I'm doing a podcast with, you know, blew up. With loads of like, people I influenced by and stuff like you guys. It's just crazy. Like the Instagram keto community is just insane. It's actually insane. I get more joy looking at my keto Instagram than I do out of my personal Instagram. My personal Instagram is just full of just rubbish. Have you?
I was like, do you know what?
Bloody hell, Shannon, we'll go that far.
I was Shannon Lee Fitness, and then I was like, do you know what? I can't be bothered with the Marty thing, you know? I'm just going to call it Shannon's Life. Like, I'm just going to, you know, people are going to have to put up with my cat and my chest of drawers, and they're just going to have to put up with everything.
No, I can't. I still have two separate.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I logged into my personal one, aside from to answer like a couple of DMs from my friends. Like that was it. But I haven't posted on there in like over a year. I think I've tagged
you in a couple of giveaways, so you might have a few notifications from me.
I just get more enjoyment out of it.
Getting their wins in.
I just get more enjoyment out of it. It's just like I get the, you know, DMs, the, you know, comments and everything. It's just all sort of, I don't know, it's just a nice sort of Instagram community that we've all got.
I mean, there was one certain group chat that, to be honest, has brought us together. So that's one thing that we can thank them for.
That's the one. I did it wrong.
Yeah, I honestly, I couldn't ask for a better group on that group chat, to be honest. Like, you can.
It's almost like a safe haven. Yeah. Like if I need, like as soon as I wake up, I'm literally like, have to check my chats, like where are the people at? It literally, I'll be on my phone all the time. But like, if you go onto your...
it can be so distracting though.
No, honestly, if you go onto your phone and you look at the most used app, mine is definitely like 90% Instagram. But it's literally like a safe haven. Like you need to talk to someone, or you just need to go somewhere or be distracted. Even like a plate of food can just take your mind off of something, or just talk to someone.
How like we actually haven't really been speaking for that long at all. Like I literally only found you guys at the beginning of lockdown. So like for anyone listening, like we haven't even known each other for that long, and we're like all joined in like a massive like row of like...
Literally, no, I was just thinking about this. I think Lauren is the person I followed the longest. Like, and then
Me?
I think I started following you for like, and then
I didn't know you till I met you, I don't think, but I recognised you. And I think the first thing I said to you was
no, you didn't.
No, I feel like I found out where you lived, and I was like...
No, you said, yeah, was it?
Yeah,
you went, like... I went, oh, where are you from? And you went, oh, I think you said Bromley as well. And I was like, oh, Rick. Oh, yeah, no, you did say...
No, I said Orpington. So
yeah, I said, I live in Bromley. You went, off. Like, yeah. When I keto meet, I was back in March. That is mental.
It's like the perfect timing, like March 7th, and then 3 weeks later, we're all like locked indoors.
Yeah, 2 weeks later, weren't it? Yeah, it was just crazy. But yeah, no. So then, and then I remember seeing Anna, but I didn't know Anna was keto because I just see this chick, as it were, just literally with like guns out, and I was just like, wow, she's cool, man. Like, everyone was tagging her and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I remember queuing up in Tesco's and someone tagged Shannon, and I was like, who's this? And I remember seeing one of your transformation pics, Shannon, and I was just like, wow, amazing. And gee, I think I saw, because you haven't done that much on Instagram, to be fair, apart from your stories, but I think it was it? I think it was one of your vegan keto dishes. But yeah, and we've all just sort of like entangled together, and like, look at us now. We're just doing a podcast and chilling, talking, gang.
I mean, mine and Anna's upcoming episodes do include some things about social media burnout. So just putting that out there, that can explain a lot of the reasons behind my silence.
I just love the display picture. I think it's brilliant. Like literally the Brooklyn Bridge. I think that's just absolutely incredible.
Like, just don't change it.
Yeah, please.
Honestly, whenever I go through my chats and I need to find you, that is what I go to. Actually... And you, Ash, don't change yours. I look for that green, and I'm like, it's there. And then Anna changed hers, and I was like, shit, now I need to look for something different.
But yeah, just it's crazy, isn't it? Social media, like, it gets a lot of hate, but
people don't get it. My mum was like, "What? You're on it so much." She was like, "Is it not a full-time job?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "For could be one day, you know. But I just love it. Like, I've just become so close to people, and I found so much more where I was doing it for so long. Like, I was maybe over just a year in, and then all you guys popped up and you like spurred me on to keep going, because you're all like so like-minded people. It's brilliant.
But that's the main thing. It's just the support network. Like, we have banter and stuff like that, but like, I mean, I was messaging Anna last night, like, about business ideas and stuff like that, and it's just nothing to do with keto, but it was just another person that I could just sort of chat to on a level, and all through keto, and it's just like, it's wicked. It's really cool.
I think with keto, like, what's really special about this community is like, you've got to have a certain kind of mentality and mindset to be able to, you know, change a diet that we've been adapted to for, you know, so many years. And I think then off the back of that, like, if you've got that kind of mentality to do that, like, it just makes us all such like-minded people, as, you know, as we've said. So I think there's just like a special connection there, because I don't think there's any other community. Sure, there'll be other communities on, you know, Instagram, but I don't think there's one that is as kind of close-knit or supportive as this.
See, there's obviously like other keto communities out there. Like, obviously I mean, I don't know about you, but I see the same names popping up like all the time. But it does make me wonder if there's actually other little communities out there. I mean, obviously there is with like the older generation, but
I'm sure there's other groups.
Are there other communities? Yeah. I mean, I know there's one, because I know one of them had a meetup, like MEAT meetup. They had a proper carnivore meetup in like Islington, and I didn't know one person. I think there was about 20 or 30 of them went, and I was thinking like, oh shit, like there's another like little community out there. But I don't know. We always seem to like tag and comment and like on the same people. It just makes me think like, is there any other community out there?
This is the brilliant thing. Like, you're saying about it's the same people and tagging and stuff like that. All of a sudden, I'm seeing these new people start following me and start tagging me and DM me, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the new community, kind of like, these are the new people coming into this community.
Yeah.
And I'm just,
or maybe they're just starting and they just want, like, it's not beggy or anything, but they just want friends, because that's how we all learn. Like, I only started my Instagram after I lost all my weight. So I started it like November 2018, but I kind of just got out of it for about 6 months. So I wasn't really talking to anyone. I just posted. I didn't have many close friends on that. It was only really, I think, 4 months before the first keto meetup that Gia was at as well. That's only when I started to talk to people and started getting really like personally close with them.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe that I sort of had, well, not the courage, but like when the meetup happened, and I think I was only, like I said, I only done my Instagram public back in February, and the meetup was in March, and I was just like, yeah.
Oh, really?
So that was like, I was just, just thinking back at it now, I'm just thinking, I think I was just excited just to meet people that I've got something in common with, like, in a, you know, lifestyle sense, like keto, like. And then when you find other things you've got common with, like, you know, me and you being from Kent and stuff like that. But hey.
Ash, did you come alone, or did you? Because I originally thought that you came with Ash.
I am Ash.
I mean, not Ash. I originally thought that you came with Mark, because I think when I arrived, you was talking to Mark and Jeannie. So I thought that you was like either related to him or was like coming with him. And I didn't realise. I think you was by yourself.
By myself. And funny enough, I used to go to the university right next to the O2, Ravensbourne. So I remember doing like a little sort of story going, oh, I'm at the keto meetup. By the way, there's my university. And then it was quite strange, because it was like it was busy. Like, the actual whole place was busy. And I remember just seeing this massive table with loads of people, and everyone was in like sort of little groups talking, and I was just like, oh, where do I go? And I just think I just went at the back, and then Mark, Jeannie, Viking Dave was there, and his wife, Colleen was there, and then we just started just chatting, and then just gone from there, really. And then when you get sort of comfortable, you start going into other people's sort of combos in little groups.
Yeah, like people start coming into your group.
And,
yeah.
And that's when you told me to so.
I mean, is that not the most classic Lauren, though?
I was just so shocked. Like, whenever I tell someone where I live, they're just like, where's that? And then I'm just like, oh, somewhere near Bromley. They're like, oh, yeah, I know Bromley. And I'm like, it's 7 minutes away. Like, how do you not know where I live? And then Ashley's like, oh, yeah, I know Orpington. And I was like, fuck. Like, literally, like, my neighbour.
You're not from Orpington, no, you're from Cray. So, it's, yeah, you're trying to make it sound better than it will.
Cray is in Orpington. It is a town.
Anyway.
I am not a pikey.
I'm still not over you having a go at me about my vest, to be honest. That's why I wore a black t-shirt tonight, because I weren't wearing my vest on this. Even though it's a podcast, I weren't wearing no vest.
It was 35 degrees, I'll let you off.
Yeah, but that was a hot day. It was a hot week. No, it was hot like 2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I can't believe it's September already.
It's like the slowest but longest year. Like, January was like a whole year in itself.
Yeah,
and then
it was.
February just didn't happen, and then March happened, and now it's like September.
Blinked.
Like, I'm just so over, I think it only dawned on me today, just like how over this whole coronavirus I am. Like, I know obviously we've got to still take all these safety precautions, but it's just like, God, I just want to live my life. Want to go.
Honest, trust me. Just want to get...
You've got to get back to some sort of normality. Like, someone was talking to me about, oh, parents get fined for not sending their kids back, and it's like, send your kid to school.
The mental health aspect
like,
of it.
Your child is not... Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Like, your child needs an education. You need to get
back friends.
To some
they need to see their
normality.
Friends as well. Like, they probably haven't seen them for
exactly. They need to socialise. School's taking all precautions, but you need an education.
I mean, me going back to the gym.
Like, send it. I bet some parents can't fucking wait.
Well, even going back to the gym, which is sort of incredible. Like, you don't miss something until it's gone. Like, you can easily say...
Oh, that was crazy.
You can easily just say, oh, I don't want to go to the gym today because it's your choice that you don't want to go. But when it's forcibly closed and you can't go to something, whether it be a nightclub or a gym or, restaurants for argument's sake, you're just like, wow, I really miss them. And it's just been intense, literally intense.
Really, really bad comparison, but the news broke yesterday that there's going to be no Winter Wonderland for the first time in 13 years. And I was literally sitting there like, I did not go last year. And I was absolutely gutted. I was like, oh, it's on every year, don't worry about it. Little did I know there was going to be a global pandemic and it would be cancelled.
Have you never been?
And I was sitting there like, no, I have, but I didn't go last year, but I religiously
I've
go
never
every single
been,
year.
ever.
And obviously I knew it was going to be cancelled, but I was just like, no, I didn't go last year. And I was just like, it's those little things that you really take advantage of. And it just makes Christmas. I don't even know if we're going to have a normal Christmas, to be honest.
Like, I know it's September, but I'm actually really excited for Christmas. I don't know what it is. Like, I'm actually excited for winter this year as well, which is just strange. Like, I'm looking forward to the nights at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, like pitch black. I don't know why. Strange.
Like, I always get like blue, and I think it's because of how short the days are. Because I work in manufacturing, so it's like you go straight in, like in the dark of the morning, and then there's like work in an office that has no frigging windows anyway, and then on a shop floor that has also no windows, and then you go home and it's dark again. It's like, where's the light be?
Oh no, that's true. Seasonal depression and stuff like that. When I used to work in retail and stuff like that, when you used to go to work and it was dark, come home and it was pitch dark. But I had
That's the same as me. Like, I'm in an open plan office. I don't sit near a window. I can see outside, but you've just got buildings. But because I work on Oxford Street, it's so nice to walk out because the lights just really make it less dull. Like, Oxford Street probably got the best lights in London. So when I do come out of work, it is that really nice Christmassy feeling. Whereas I can imagine if you just walk out onto a high street or just walk down the road, it's just so dull.
But we've literally been excited for Christmas. Like, even when we started buying, like, in the process of buying the house, it was over a year ago, I think. But like, that is all we've talked about, is like, oh, what's Christmas going to be like in the front room? Because like, we have like Christmas tradition where we take the mattress downstairs and sleep on the floor in the living room the night before. We're like, oh, can't wait to like Christmas up the room and like have a sleepover night.
That's so lush.
That's cool.
I love that.
Is it a real tree or a fake tree everyone's going for, or what they normally go for?
I think I want a real one this year. I want a real one. I might do a real one downstairs and then like an artificial one upstairs, because I was in the middle floor.
Why are you going for two? Fair enough.
Can't expect that,
Oh, I thought everyone had a Christmas tree in each room, or was that just me?
No, my room can't even fit 2 people, let alone a Christmas tree.
What, does everyone have 2 Christmas trees?
Yes, mate.
See?
Yeah, we have one in the dining room and then one in the living room.
Is it a southern thing?
2 Christmas trees?
I have one in the porch. Does that count? Like, I have a fibre optic in the porch and one in the living room, but upstairs, like, where the fuck are you going to put that?
I
You've got to move the cat scratching post.
No, I don't have one in my bedroom, like none of the bedrooms, because
Do you split the presents then? So you do half presents upstairs and half presents, or
What questions are you asked?
like, I literally just have one tree. That's it.
Around the biggest tree.
No, you walk. So for me, like, I got to walk in like the kitchen because we spend most of the time in the kitchen anyway. So it's like you need to Christmas up that room, so it's got to be a Christmas tree there. And then like when you come and sit in the living room, like I don't know, if I can have 2 Christmas trees, I always have 2 Christmas trees. I think last year was the first year I didn't have 2 Christmas trees, and I was really sad.
It's gone from a keto podcast to a Christmas podcast. This is brilliant.
Such a tangent.
People want to know.
This is true.
Well, my mum buys Christmas presents like literally in the January sales, and she's already out in the. She bought her first mince pies today, and
Oh God.
yeah, she's been out buying decorations and all sorts. Honestly, it's like it's just a massive thing for her. See, she's more.
Does she just skip Halloween? Because
She doesn't in Halloween at all. She is all for Christmas. She counts down from Christmas Day. I'm not that bad.
see, I love Halloween, and then we would normally be going to New York at Thanksgiving. So that it like stretches out the Christmas season because you literally go from Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then it's straight into Christmas. But not this year.
But yeah, I really want to do a Thanksgiving. Like, I think that would be epic.
Let's do a keto Thanksgiving.
It's another excuse to eat.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. I'd actually do that.
Yeah. We could all do a Zoom and we'll film a podcast, and we'll do a Thanksgiving podcast.
And then Lauren can cook the massive turkey with the bacon.
Oh, I thought I was going to say you can cook one of your chickens.
Yeah, but you got to have turkey on Thanksgiving, haven't you? Honestly, I'm addicted to roast chickens at the moment. It's just actually like mental. Like it actually is mental. I think in the last 10 to 14 days, I've had about 7 roast chickens.
You almost had a fight over roast chickens as well with the woman in Sainsbury's, wasn't it? She wanted 6 chickens.
It wasn't a fight. She, like, literally...
Julie being greedy.
She was a worker. She was... I remember seeing there was 6. There was 6 cooked chickens. Oh, I'm really passionate about this. But I went up there and I said, can I have one of them chickens? She said, no, it's been reserved for a customer. Okay, fair enough. I walk around, 15 minutes, get my bits, go back. The 6 chickens are still there. I'm thinking, okay, so this customer obviously has gone or she's not getting them. So can I just have one of your 6 chickens, please? Oh, no, she's coming back. I was like, okay, it's been 15 minutes. This isn't Argos. You can't reserve your chickens. So manager walked past and I just said, sorry, mate. What's the policy of reserving food? And he was like, there's nothing. So he went round, grabbed me my roast chicken that was 20p reduced, and it was a fantastic day. And funny enough, when I got to the till, I saw her coming back with 2 massive baskets of reduced stuff. Like it would have been the 5 roast chickens plus pies or pasties, pastries, everything. And I think she obviously just kept all for herself because that's probably what you do when you work at.
Well, the thing is those people, because I had a lot of them at M&S, is that they know the staffs. They know when someone new's starting that doesn't know the policy. So they'll come in and tell them can you reserve all of this? So yeah.
I couldn't believe it. It was best 20p I've ever spent.
I hit Waitrose at 10 to 9. That's when the peak bargains are on Waitrose, because I can't afford stuff on Waitrose, but I'll go at 10 to 9.
Do you know what I mean? Like Waitrose reduced prices are like Tesco prices.
Yeah, but it's 10 to 9, but it's like a dire. We're shutting up shop. Come on. And then it's like all back on the yellow stickers.
Yeah, it's like second cycle, third cycle reductions. It's
It's like
fine.
stickers on top of stickers.
I hate it when
Yeah.
they're like, in M&S today, it's like some people use it's out of date today, but it's only got like 50p off. So it's gone from 4 to 350. It's like, what?
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah.
That's because M&S is failing, and I will continue to spread the truth.
Sainsbury's do that as well, though. Sainsbury's, like, literally, yeah, you have, like, minced lamb that's normally £4.50, and they knock 25p off, even though it goes out of date today, and you're like, I'd rather just pay the 25p to get something that's in date.
A lot of people just see that yellow sticker though and just think, oh, reduced. And then you actually look at it and it's like, hang on a minute. But I mean, when I went to M&S and I got some veal or some duck, it was like £2.50 off. I wouldn't pay £7.50 for duck breast, but I'd pay like £4.50 for it. But that was quite a lot of money off. But I think it's quite expensive.
Yellow sticker, gang.
My last serve though, seriously, like this is the second time I've gone in and the burratas have sold out.
I can't even find them. I've looked for them, I can't find them.
You've started a revolution, Anna, and they're just going to be sold out now. So
I'm never showing anything that I like ever again.
That was like me when I started telling everyone about bloody oat fibre. They sold out for like 6 months.
Oh, is that in your secret bread recipe, yeah?
Like literally when I started giving it out like basic, everyone was buying it, and then I literally couldn't get any. And this was like before lockdown. They were like, oh, we're getting it in 2 weeks, and then 4 weeks, and they just couldn't get any in. I blamed it on Brexit, and then I actually thought about it, and I was just like, no, it's because everyone's bloody buying it.
Because of you.
Yeah, it's your bread recipe that got leaked online.
Seriously.
On AT Keto blog.
I think it was everyone was just sick of mouldy keto bread, so they were like, we'll just make
keto
our
product
own.
in general, really.
Or the amount of messages earlier, like the amount of people that didn't actually realise, not that it was bad, but that it was kind of like, it's already getting quite a bad
I'm confused.
reputation.
So it was 4.6, and then it went down to, are we talking about the same thing, where it was the ketone levels?
Oh, yeah, but that post was about, wasn't it Mandy's sugar-free
Yeah, because
life?
Ginger did one, and she basically, I think her ketones went down from like 1.8, I think, to like 0 something or 1.1. Like they dropped quite dramatically. And then Mandy was at 1.6, and then she went up to 2.2. And her glucose only went up about 0.9. So like from 4 to 4.9, your bloods go up anyway when you eat regardless. And between 4 or 5 is quite good. So hers actually, when she had Deirdre's bread, hers actually went up. But I think it's because seriously, like, add in the wheat and the soya, which may have affected when Ginger did it. And that's when I put the post up about, obviously they've tried to mimic a recipe and it's not really gone the way that it's supposed to be, by the mould that is also appearing on their products as well. But it is a low carb bread. It's not keto bread. They haven't said it's a keto bread, but it just goes to show that the basic recipe actually improved the ketone levels, whereas they just started adding to it and it's just made it completely plummet.
And this is why Laura needs to open up shop.
Lauren's got so much stress on at the moment. You know, I really just wish I was furloughed. I would have just
I've
quit
got a
my
wicked
job
name
by
for
now.
those. Bell-used bread buns.
Honestly, I had. We've literally been thinking of
Bell-used
so
bread
many.
buns.
Like there are so many B's out there.
Bellew.
Every word,
Bellew.
any word that is associated with like bread, buns, bums, it's all with a B. We're trying to think of a name, but the one we've got is
Keto
kind of
cray.
the same as someone else.
Or
No, we're trying to incorporate.
what's everyone's take on sort of low carb, sort of like on a keto sort of day? What's everyone's sort of take on using low carb treats, as it were, or snack?
I think it's really important to know the ingredients that are in it and to trust the company that you're kind of like giving your money to. So you can either make them yourself and you know the ingredients that are going into it, or you can use a trusted company and take it kind of out of your hands. But I think it should still be used as a treat rather than an everyday thing.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Definitely.
Because I saw, I was in a little health shop in Bromley High Street, and they had a a keto bar, and I was like, oh my God, let's have a look at it. And it just literally had, yes.
Is that yellow? Yeah.
It's
They're not keto bar. That's
it's
in
not
Whole
at all.
Foods.
And I'm just like,
and someone said it tastes like sawdust. Like, apparently it tastes
I had like 14
like
grams of
hamster
sugar
food.
in it or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
What?
And the ingredients are shocking. There's like 40 ingredients in it. They just add a little bit of MCT, and it's like they just put the word keto on it, like my protein.
Well, technically, you can just put anything on anything and make it keto, like a certain bakery can do.
But it's because they simply add MCT, and it's like keto. Let's just put the word keto on it because it's got some MCT in it.
Keto's not technically like you don't have to fit to a sort of form, do you? When it's like when it's low sugar, you have to have conform to low sugar, whereas keto could be anything because keto isn't meant to be anything. Yeah,
anything. Yeah,
keto is what you make of it. I mean, we all do it differently.
And that's what we were saying about Ash and his book and his journey. Like, there's not one rule. He's literally just made his journey and like done keto his own way, basically. Like, people ask me and I'm just like, just do keto your own way. There's not one way to keto.
Yeah.
Because if there was, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't do it. So a lot of people just go by the traditional way of keto and it just sounds boring as hell. Like, I mean, you've got the medical therapeutic keto, which you have to be strict with. You have to do it for medical reasons. But, you know, it's like when I told Gia, when I put, I think I made some muffins and I got these sugar-free chocolate buttons from Holland and Barrett, and it had a bit of xylitol in it and some soy, and I got absolutely annihilated on this Facebook group. And I was like, you may not be able to consume this, but it's okay for me. Like, you may be shitting bricks eating xylitol, but I'm fine. You may bloat out eating soya, but I'm fine.
Me and Ash are like, no, go.
yeah, like literally no. Xylitol, no. I mean, it's poisonous to dogs as well, so I can't touch that.
Exactly, but that's another thing what we were saying about like carb tolerance and having like a gluten tolerance. You kind of need to eat this for your body to tolerate it. Like, I have had plenty of maltitol. My body can tolerate it. I can have plenty of MCT oil. As soon as I had a spoonful of MCT oil,
Amy can tolerate it as well.
I could probably guzzle the whole bowl. Exactly, yeah. You just have to let your body tolerate it just by introducing it.
It was
slowly.
interesting though, because we did a ketone test, and Ames had like 2-3 days off keto. She was like her dad was down, she was up London having carbonara, she was having garlic bread, this, that and the other. And I think it was a few days later we tested her ketones, and her ketones were 1.4, right? And we did I think it was 2 or 3 tests just to make sure it wasn't like a dud. And I was just like, you've had carbs and you're still in ketosis. And then obviously Lauren will say it as well, just being fat adapted. It's just crazy how your body can literally change and transform into a metabolic state.
Yours were like 1.2 on a Wednesday, and that's like 3 days after having carbs. Whereas for me, I don't know, it's because if I'm smaller, because I've been eating carbs more recently than I have been keto, but it takes me like at least 5-6 days just to get to like a 0.6. But I don't know whether that's because I haven't been consistent recently. But obviously with the fat adaptation, your body could just switch to it straight away.
But then it's also like people going on to when you said about how you have a xylitol and you have soy and stuff like that. I've got people messaging me going, oh, how come you're not having mayonnaise no more? Should I not have mayonnaise? And I'm like, no, honestly, crack on, have mayonnaise. Like when I first started, I had mayonnaise, and I'm just doing different things just to change it up, just to see what's going on. Like,
I feel like it's really important to try like new different things as well, because if you're like constantly eating the same foods over and over and over again, your body just knows what it's having. But like if you keep it consistent and try new things, like as you suggested the other week, Ash, I like lowered my sweetness even just for 7 days, and I found that really helped. Then I had some keto cake and I was like, that's gone out the window again. But I do think it's really good to like every now and again just try new meals, try switching things up instead of just having the same things over and over again.
I think that's really important with the gluten tolerance thing. Like me and Lauren have talked about this quite a lot, that a lot of people, they think that you have to do gluten-free and keto. Like obviously it's an inflammation thing for a lot of people. And if you truly have to be gluten-free, then you be gluten-free.
Yeah.
If you can handle the gluten, you should be eliminating it from your diet, because then your body will build up an intolerance to it. And when you do then have it, your body's just, you're going to bloat or you're going to feel like IBS symptoms or anything like that.
But then a lot of people think that they have a gluten intolerance when really it's actually more so the wheat, because I actually thought that like whenever I had bread it would bloat me out so bad, like I'd have to undo the button on my jeans. And then I started to make my bread, and obviously it's vital wheat gluten, but it doesn't have any wheat associated with it. It is 99% gluten, and it doesn't bloat me out. It doesn't affect, it makes me feel so full, but not full to the point where I've got to open my jeans. So more so it could be the wheat side of things than the gluten side of things. But then again, I think people might get confused with grains and gluten, because yes, keto is grain free, but there's nothing to say that it's gluten free, but it is wheat free. So I just think that's a bit of a grey area of some people, and I get hounded so much whenever someone sees oat fibre or they see vital wheat gluten, and I have to sit there and explain to them. And then when I say there's honey in the bread, and they're like, oh my God. And I don't know whether it's just ignorance or they just don't know how to use Google, but I thought people were just born with this knowledge. Like, I just thought it was common knowledge.
It was a couple of weeks ago, I think you put it on stories or whatever it was, and you just put like every food can be a keto food. Like, there's no non-keto food. Yeah. Like, just if you have things in small doses, it's okay. Like, don't stress.
Like Ash and his peas.
Yeah.
It's keto if it fits your macros. I mean, do you know what I mean? Have your watery peas. It's the same with the sweet corn though. It's the same with the corn. Like, people, like whenever I have like my tuna and sweet corn, yeah, people will turn their nose up, and people message me like, oh, ready for the keto please, because you've got sweet corn. What is sweet corn going to do to me and my body, or even to hinder weight loss? What's a carrot going to do?
The hilarious thing though,
it's literally going to do nothing.
I used to consider, like, going back to sort of pre-keto days, like carbs, I used to think pasta was like healthy, like, oh, I'm gonna have
God's food.
like, oh, I'm gonna have pasta. I don't know why I thought it was sort of natural and healthy and stuff like that, but it's not. Like, it's just weird when you look back at certain things. You're like, oh, I used to have, you know, when we were talking about utterly butterly, or, you know, because it was less in fat, and used to have sort of Snacker Jacks and like just low fat foods, because you're thinking,
oh my God, I was a sucker for the Snacker Jacks.
Yeah, Snacker Jacks.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
they're back. Ones. Oh,
always them caramel or chocolate
salt
ones.
vinegar, guys. Oh. Come on now.
And Rivitas as well.
Salt vinegar.
Salt vinegar.
Oh no.
Oh, I couldn't have the caramel ones or chocolate ones. No.
The caramel.
No, I just lived on like Snacker Jacks and Rivitas.
I'm still a fan of the Rivita crisp bread. They're not bad.
I think I've got the Holland Barrett do this. I think it was like a pumpkin seed cracker thing.
Yeah, the beginnings
yeah, I think
brand.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, I hate
really?
them.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
everything
like
is expensive. When it's,
I don't know what it is.
When it's sort of apparently good for you, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's kind of expensive, but also half of them are broken. Like, when you open the pack, and it's like, why am I paying this amount of money for things that aren't like
intact? I've got like 3 boxes downstairs. Yeah, I've got like 3 boxes, and I don't know what it is. But the ingredients aren't really expensive. It's literally just flax, almond flour, and some pumpkin seeds, and you can buy them in bulk for so cheap and make them yourself. I don't know what it is. It just tasted like dirt. Like
there's like a weird spice that they've put in it, and I'll need to
it just
read
tastes quite
the
bland.
label.
Mm.
Do you know what are good? Atkins crackers are quite good. The Atkins crisp bread.
I've got some of those, but they crumble so quickly though. Like, when I go to like put a bit of butter on it, and it's like,
Really?
It's more of a wafer than a bread though. Like, I could actually put a bit of marshmallow in it and have one of them pink and white wafers.
ooh.
Like, it's just more like a wafery bread than like a crisp bread or anything. I don't like them. I've got about 3 boxes downstairs. I don't know what to do with them.
Anyone else think like keto's made them more creative in the kitchen or anything like that? I'm just.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I'm literally adding spices in that I would probably not normally try and see if it works. If it doesn't work, like I made what was it? It was like a broccoli peas, green beans, with like parmesan and garlic and a bit of oil, and it tasted amazing. I've like cauliflower cheesed out at the moment, so I'm just sort of trying different things. And I've had a bit of sprinkle of mozzarella on it, and it just like tasted amazing. And I was like, you just throw things into a pan, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't work, just tweak it a bit or change it a bit. But it's just being so creative in the kitchen. It's just wicked. I love it.
My absolute go-to still is Nando's marinade. I can't get enough of it.
Oh yeah, I've always had Nando's marinades. And the thing is, they're quite clean as well, because you can get the sauce and then you get the rub as well. So you're getting like double kind of like marinade 100%. And the rub.
I'm doing Nando's roast chicken at some point this week, but I always marinate it overnight, and then when it's almost finished cooking, I'll put some of the like the rub on, just sprinkle it over the top with loads of chilies. Oh, love it.
Tell you what's banging is pork belly with Cornish salt and pepper seasoning. It's like a little pot of salt and different kinds of peppercorns and stuff like that, and sprinkle that over the top of pork belly. Is amazing. And Gia's just looking in absolute shock because we're talking about me.
Oh no. But this is the thing, like people don't understand that. Like I ate meat.
She appreciates me.
Like
whenever I put steak up on my story, she'll just react with love heart eyes, and I'm like, see, that is the vegan that I want to be friends with. I don't want to see a crying face. I don't want to see a crying face. I want to see love heart eyes.
But the thing is, like, because I know that I would still enjoy the taste of the steak, but I just don't eat it because my body doesn't like it and it doesn't help my hormones or anything. So. But I can still appreciate 100%. It a lot.
Back to talking of vegan and seasoning, one of my friends is launching like a load of rubs and spices and herbs.
Is that the Jamaica? Is that the
little Jamaica?
Yeah. That looks wicked.
It looks so good. Like I'm so excited for it. And so basically, it's come down. So he's Jamaican himself. And it's like his great grandmother's recipe that's just been passed down, but he's now like bottling it. But it's just awesome what he's doing. Like it's not just a case of like a product and selling it. Like he's full on like on a mission to bring Jamaica into people's kitchens, and even to the point where like visit jamaica.com and like the authorities over there are like backing him. But honestly, these herbs and spices just look immense. I literally cannot wait to try them. And they're all like natural and all vegan as well, which is really exciting.
Yeah, they look wicked.
That is kind of one of the flavors that you don't really see when you go into like seasoning section. I mean, like you get your chimichurri and you get your Mexican, Chinese, katsu, but you don't really, like fajita. I think there's one jerk seasoning which is, I don't know if you've seen them, like the orange, purple, green little packets. There's a jerk one of them, but I think jerk is just so distinctive that even that's not right. But that is one of the seasonings you don't see. Like you don't see many Caribbeans. It's mainly just like the Mexicans
it's just not done properly. And I think like this is exactly what he's done, which is just epic. So as soon as they're launched, like I'll be letting you know.
Yeah, please do.
100%. Definitely try some of that.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I've kind of drifted away from counting the carbs in like garlic or spices, because that was so obsessive for me. Like I was like, oh well, I can only have like this and this. I can't have all of that in one thing. I'm like,
especially garlic.
Wasn't it Anna? Someone popped up to Anna, or there was a post or something.
Sally,
and someone was saying about, oh my god, like how you having that much garlic?
Yeah, it was like, Sally. Yeah.
But that's the thing when you get like a curry sauce, or you get those like ready-made Thai green curries or the red Thai curries from Aldi, you'll see the carb count. Like even those low FODMAP, gluten-free like curry sauces that I've got for 100 grams, it's like 4 point something or 8 point something. But then you look on the back and the majority of that does come from herbs and spices. And I mean, is it really going to hinder, if you're worried about ketosis, is it going to hinder that?
No.
Probably not.
You got to have flavour in your food.
I mean, and obviously... I mean, of sugars is probably going to be about 1 point something, but then, I don't know, you weigh out 1 point something on a scale of sugar, it's absolutely nothing, and it's just going to disintegrate into the meal anyway. But I would rather use my carbs.
Yeah, it's not as if you're like eating loads of McDonald's chips and like rubbish. It's spice.
Use your carbs on flavouring.
It's just spices.
Exactly, use your carbs on flavouring and spice, as opposed to like a burger that's got loads of filler in it, or sausages that's got loads of filler in it.
I never weighed out my sort of veg or seasoning or anything like that. Like, never done it. The only thing I do weigh out is meats, fats, oils. I've never ever ever weighed out my veg because the carbs in veg, peas aside, carbs in veg, and is fibrous. So it's you know it's all good. And yeah, garlic and seasoning and stuff like that. Obviously, you've got to be careful with some seasoning because they do have more sugars than they need to. Like you literally could be just sort of putting brown sugar on your, you know, meats, whatever it is, because it could be one of the first ingredients on the thing. But yeah, I wouldn't think.
But you mentioned about butters and oils. See, I don't. When I'm cooking eggs or something, I'll just literally slap a teaspoon of butter into my skillet. I don't even weigh it out. Does anyone else just not care?
I would still put table.
It can be like 200 calories for a tablespoon, and it's like the majority of that is not going in my meal. Like when I did my chicken yesterday, there was so much oil in the pan, I just thought it's just pointless. And if I'm going to scrimp on like 200 calories, if it was something like buttery cabbage, then yeah, obviously like the whole thing is going into my bowl. Peas. But you do see a lot of people, or you buttery peas, but you do see a lot of people like when they post up their meals and you look at their food and you just think, have you really wasted 200 calories on olive oil that has probably not gone into your
like
meal?
Tiny fraction.
And it's just thinking like, are you exactly like they are kind of under eating in a way because you're losing out on 200 calories when you can just, I don't know, have a full bar or something. I just think it's a bit pointless.
That's what I'm saying about the like pork belly and things that are air fried where there's a lot of fat that comes out of it. Then that's now not part of the pork.
Yeah, it's the same if you just take the chicken off the chicken thighs. Like you look on the back of the packet, it's going to be included in those calories. It's going to be included within the fat. So then if you want to take that skin off or you have a roast chicken without the skin, then, you know, you can just type an entry in, you know, cooked chicken without skin or something, or just skinless fire, something like that.
And then just post a photo to the grid saying hashtag I am boring.
I mean, we all have to eat the chicken skin, even if, I mean, personally, I prefer to fry it.
I could take or leave chicken skin. I'm not a massive fan of it.
What?
Best part. I absolutely
Really?
love chicken skin.
The chicken crackling from I think it's Little Bob or something like that. The chicken crackling is banging, but yeah, chicken skin. But
see, I'm the opposite. I really don't like those that chicken crackling, and like I thought of all people, I would love it because I have loved chicken skin like from a young age. Love chicken skin. I hate the crackling. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the texture or what. I just can't get behind it. And I'm really sad because I just love chicken skin.
Oh, I love it. I think it's wicked. Just like crisps. And obviously when you're keto, crisps are a no-no, aren't they? So having like pork puffs and chicken crackling, just wicked. And their flavours are wicked as well. Like salt vinegar, habanero chili.
I just don't know what it is. It must be a texture thing or something. Must be. My absolute favourite crispy keto snack though is definitely the pork scratchings, the hot mustard flavour. I don't know if you've had those. If not, get them because they are special. They are really nice.
It's one of the things that I want to talk about with you, Ash, was maybe when you started keto, what would be something that you wish that you'd known that you obviously do now that you think that a beginner would like need to know?
That it's not a race. Literally, just be patient. Doesn't matter if 1 week you're down 5 pounds, the next week you're down 2 pounds, next week you're not down any pounds. It's literally, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And you know, just trusting the process. Like if your sole purpose in this is just to lose weight quickly, then you need to go back to the drawing board and just sort of evaluate certain things, because if you're just doing this to, you know, lose weight quickly, then the mentality behind it isn't correct. I mean, that's just me saying it from personal experience. I mean, the weight loss is fantastic, but you still need to sort of hamper down on why you're doing this, what you're doing it for. If it is to lose weight, what else are you doing it for? Because it can't be just to lose weight. It's you know, is it to, you know, improve your mindset with food? Is it to improve your relationship with food? Is it to improve your physical health? Is it to, you know, be more active, get energy levels? All these little things that come with time. They don't come sort of straight away. And it's unfortunate because I feel like we're in a sort of society now where everything's on demand. Everything is now. and we just sort of have to take a step back, just chill. You know, don't put that much pressure on yourself. Just do it at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to everyone else. Just do it as you want to do it. That's what I would say. So yeah,
Solid.
patience.
So true.
Such solid advice.
I just sort of rambled on a bit there though, but yeah, no, it's yeah, honestly, I mean, it's strange looking back on it now. I had the mindset of I didn't care about how much I was losing. I was just loving the new lifestyle change. I was loving everything about it. The small little changes of, you know, an extra notch off my belt, or the extra inch off, or my, you know, shorts feeling baggy, or being able to walk longer and not, you know, be out of breath. And that came within time, and it's just like the biggest thing is just don't worry about the like, don't set yourself up for failure. Like, do sort of small goals, manageable goals, whether it be short-term goals, and then also look into long-term goals as well. That's what I would always say. I'm rambling on again, so please someone interrupt me and take me away.
No, I think you've got some really, like, raised some really solid points there, and especially talking about like how everyone wants everything on demand. And I think it all comes down to this whole kind of fad culture where everyone sold this magic pill, and, you know, all of these fake results are being sold. So and I think someone said to me once, it's like, especially most people that are starting on a weight loss journey, like, we have mistreated ourselves for so long. And it's like, think about how long it's taken us to get to where we are when we started. Like, it's not just going to take 1 or 2 days to undo that. Like, it's going to take a good amount of time to, you know, to sort ourselves out. So I think that's a really, really solid point that you've raised. And I don't think that's really portrayed very well. And again, it's because of companies trying to, you know, flog fast results. Yeah. Hashtag fads are sad.
We don't like fads.
Well, we hate fads, but I think there's some really bad information out there for people that are starting on keto. I think there's a lot of overwhelming information as well, because you would look on one website and it says something, and then you look on another one and it's completely contradicting that and saying that that's wrong or bad or whatever. Like, you almost don't know who to trust.
I think this is where Ash comes in and his ebook, because I think, you know, there really isn't, like, I think there's so many people that are so prescriptive, and we're talking about people that are worried about eating carbs again, people worrying about eating vegetables and all these different things. And that comes from all of these websites, which are, you know, being really, really, really prescriptive of corn is X carbs, and, you know, a carrot is this, and herbs and bloody garlic. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's where a lot of this fear has come, and a lot of, like, uncertainty with people. And I think that's really sad. So we definitely need more, you know, voices of authority out there, like Ash is, and his ebook and what he's doing. So I think you're paving the way for a good future of keto.
Thank you, Anna.
I think it's also the word fat as well, that a lot of people just kind of, they hear the word fat and they just think, like, they just get scared of it. Like, because a lot of people who do start are, I hate using the word fat, but they are fat themselves, and they're just like not actually realizing the reason why they actually got the way they are is actually because of carbs and sugar, not because of fat. If they think fat is bad, then is that how you got fat yourself? No, you got fat from eating sugar and carbs. But just to see the word fat or see the word high fat, like the amount of people that I've had inboxing me and just saying about, like, their macros and just having to eat like 150 grams of fat just makes them feel sick and they can't do it. And half the reason they give up is because they would find it boring because they can't get the fats in, or they just don't really know what to eat. So then you give them a different spin on it and you just say, well, you know, why didn't you eat more meat? Why didn't you eat more, like, fish? Fish has got good fats in it as well. But why don't you see it from, like, a protein perspective? And then they're just kind of like, oh, well, I've read that protein's bad, and I've read this and I've read that. And then it's kind of like, this is why you just kind of need just to do keto your own way. but it's definitely the word fat that just throws.
Yeah,
Funny enough,
100%.
my sister started
100%.
keto as well. She started it. I think she's been doing it for 6-7 weeks now.
Your stunning sister.
She's literally, well, when she first started, she was literally messaging me every day, going, "Can I have this? Can I have that?" And I'm not in the whole sort of you can't, and you like obviously because it instills a sort of negative influence towards a certain group of food. So I was just saying, I would always sort of interpret it as like, well, I didn't have that, I would have this, or I would have that. I wouldn't use the word, no, you can't have that. You can't, like, because
Just be mindful.
yeah, exactly. And
No, you can't have buttery peas, but I can.
never going to live that down. And yeah, so it was, and I think she did a weigh day today, and she messaged us on the family WhatsApp group, and it was like, I think she's down 2 stone now, just over 2 stone in like 7 weeks.
Wow.
That's mental.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. And I've noticed a massive change in like her energy levels is the main thing. Like she's going for walks and stuff now. And it's just like, that's one of the main things. Yeah, okay, cool. The weight loss is fantastic, but it's also the other things that people aren't talking about. Like, how's your mood? Is your mood better? How's, walking to work or walking to the bus or train station? Are you getting out of breath? Are you not getting out of breath? Like, you need to start sort of looking at them things as well, because the number on the scale doesn't determine everything about you. It doesn't determine success. It's just literally a measurement. If you can fit into a shirt that you couldn't fit into 2 years ago, I'd class that more as a success than, if you've lost, 2 pounds here, or, you haven't lost anything on that week or anything like that. So like the amount of people I get message me going, "Oh, I've only lost like £5 this week." I was like, "You've lost £5? That's amazing." Like, I don't want people to compare. I don't know if you get this, Shannon, but some people like, they go, "Oh, well, how much did you lose in the first month?"
Yeah.
Oh,
They'll
we're
ask
different.
me like, they'll ask me like specifically like how much weight I lost by this certain day, and I'm like, first of all, hang on, rude. Don't don't like, don't ask, don't ask me. Yeah, and I'm like, I think people have this misconception where, like, I think I was the same before I started as well. You go online on someone's platform, or say someone goes on to any of our Instagram pages, and they have a scroll through and they think like, "Oh my God, that person's done amazing. I need to know exactly how they did it so I get the same results." But it's not linear. There's not a one shoe fits all. Like, we all do it differently. All of our bodies are different. We have different tolerances. So yeah, but I was definitely, I do get messages asking me how I've done it. And I always I'm transparent. I just say, look, this is how I've done it, but I will never say that this is 100% going to work for you. Like, I can always advise low sugar. I think cutting out excess amounts of sugar is the staple of any diet, no matter what you do. But don't just look on someone's profile and think, I need to do exactly what they've done, because we're all different.
100%. And I think as well, when it comes to scales, like, it is just a vanity metric, because like you're saying, Ash, like, it's so much more to feel good about fitting into old clothes and your mentality and your mood. But I think it's especially hard when you start out, because you don't know what that's going to feel like. You may not have experienced that before. So it's always like that, you're always going to use weight initially, I think, because that's the only thing you've kind of got to go by.
I mean, yeah, hindsight's I'm saying this looking back on, no, that's totally true. Like, going back to my original, but I'm going back sort of 7 years when I was fixated on the scale. And that's when I sort of changed it around last year, where I was like, weight loss, yes. And I just want to be good within myself. And then weight loss was one of the benefits among others. But you're totally true, actually. If weight loss is the scale is, a good tool to use, but that's all what it is. It's a tool. So don't let it determine your mood. So for 1 week, if you haven't lost anything, or if you've gained, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just sort of, stay true to yourself and be accountable as well. Because that's the one thing I use my Instagram for, which is accountable and accountability. And if you can't be sort of true to yourself, then there's no point in sort of doing it. I mean, it sounds quite harsh, but if if you've cheated or if you've done like a carb heavy weekend and stuff like that, I've always gone into my Instagram and said, accountability post, I'm doing this, because it makes me feel good that I'm sort of sharing it with like, you guys, with strangers. It's just because it's out there. And I think it's just good to sort of stay true to what you want to do and how you want to do it. And yeah, just go from there. And I'm rambling again, so please someone cut me off.
Going back to the whole scale situation though, I remember having a couple of conversations with people, and I was, saying to them about the scales don't define like who you are and how much weight you're losing and blah, blah, blah. But then you've got those people that need to be a certain weight for certain reasons, like maybe for IVF reasons or surgery reasons or anything like that. And obviously, like, you wouldn't have known that you've lost 100 pounds if you didn't use the scales. So obviously there is a certain aspect of using the scales, fair enough, but it can become so obsessive. Like, I stepped on them this morning and I was up by like 4 pounds, but that's because I had a small portion of chips 2 nights ago. So obviously I'm holding a little bit of water there. But this was also when we was talking about that whole finding your average kind of weight as well. So yeah, I mean, the scales are good in a way, but in another sense, they can just be so mentally damaging. Unless you actually have to lose a certain amount and have to be at a certain number, then yeah, use it.
Like my second or third page in my ebook, it's like your weight doesn't determine your self-worth, and I sort of stand by that. Like, we're in a sort of day and age now where you've got the bikini bodies and you've got the beach bodies and everything like that, and it's just like, it's not like you as a person is so much more than how much you weigh or how big you are, how small you are, and everything like that.
But the scales, it's not just a fat number. Like, you could put a bodybuilder on a scale and he could be kilos and kilos, but his body fat percentage is like 10%. Like, his BMI would say that he's overweight when really and truly he is so fit. So it doesn't actually take into account, it's your body mass, which is obviously your bone density, your fat, and everything else. So obviously, and then you've got Shannon, for example, and you've got people with, and probably Ash yourself as well, with like excess skin. If you were to remove that, you could literally be so many more pounds down. But unfortunately, you've got that little bit in the way that is obviously hindering the scales as well. So you obviously just need to look at it from a body image kind of position.
I think as well, like we should talk about like the best way to use scales as a tool. So the way that I use scales was like, and I know we've spoken about this before, but like, I use the scales every day. So I have always weighed every day, like when I'm trying to lose, because I think it gives you the best view, like the overall view. I use
finding your average.
I use Happy Scale app, which, as I've only just learned, is only available on Apple, but genuinely recommend it. So if you are trying to lose weight, download Happy Scales. You can put your weight in every day, and what it does is it puts a point on a graph of like the actual, like the weight on the scales, but then it also draws a line to where like it actually thinks your weight is. So it will take into account fluctuations, and it's literally a happy scale. It turns your scales from like a sad, miserable thing, if that's like how your scales make you feel, into an actual tool that help you stay accountable.
Additional tip onto that though, is every time you weigh yourself, measure yourself, because the worlds might the scales and weight. The scales might say you haven't lost anything, but the tape measure might say that you've lost half an inch or an inch off your chest or off your your waist or anything like that, which is a massive indicator. So I'd always say
I gained weight at one point, like especially when I was working out more. Obviously I was building muscle, so I was like, the scales went up by like half a stone temporarily, but then the more muscle I had, the more fat I burned, and then like it took the other way again. But like, I used to be obsessed, and I was like, right, I'm not gonna do that much strength training because I want to hit a certain number of scales. And then I had to have a word with myself, and I was like, that's a bad mindset. I've done this journey to have a good mindset, I'm going to work out and get strong and get fit, and I'm not going to worry about the scales.
Gonna
We're
get
going to Anna's squat whack as well.
Your
soon.
muscles are going to hold. That's what I mean. Your muscles are going to hold that water as well. So it's not just the muscle building, but then again, that could also put your BMI up, which would then put your maintenance calories up, which means you can then eat more because your muscles then need that food for the energy, as opposed to the fat on your body needing that energy. So it also puts your TDE up as well.
So we're going to Anna's for a squat rack session, aren't we, Shannon?
Don't. So I got an email saying that it's actually out of stock and they're refunding me the money. Honestly, I've been trying since the start of lockdown really to get this. Like every time it goes out of stock again, like I put my email in to get notification, then I go back on it and it's already sold out. And I am literally on, like I get notifications on emails. I'm on it within 2 minutes. It's already sold out. And it was literally the Saturday morning that we first got into this house, and I had an email at like 5:15, and I was just up at 5:30, and I was like, oh my God, it's there. And I ordered it, and literally I was like running around the house, like finally got this squat rack. And then, yeah, literally yesterday I got an email saying it's out of stock and they're going to refund me. I was absolutely good. So I know, I just want one in the garage, you know, but we've joined the local gym here, and it's actually really, really nice. It's like an old library, but I think it's a grade listed building. So a lot of its features and things inside, like all original. It's so epic. But
nice one.
Still mourning the squat rack though, not gonna lie.
But I mean, I feel like we should just add like where to find your ebook.
You can find my ebook on my Instagram bio, or you can go to my blog, which is atketo.uk. Nice and sweet.